Ah, yes. Chai, the eighth wonder of the world. How are you guys doing, man? I'm doing fantastic, actually. I'm just very, very busy this month until like after November. I think I should be alright. I should be much better, much more free. Schedule should be freed up. I'm also going to be doing a lot less social media stuff, like posting stuff on social media this month. So, I mean, I've announced all of it on AKFX Telegram. So, if you guys haven't followed me on there, first link and only link in the description is a link to my AKFX Telegram. But with that being said, let's get right into this. So a lot of you guys asked for a Euro USD breakdown, and besides you guys asking for it, I myself have really been wanting to break down especially this little portion of price action. I believe this was during the previous week. Am I right? Yes, I'm right. Yeah, so this little bit of price action, price is just stuck in a range. Now, a lot of people, they either don't have the expertise of knowing how to trade in a range, or they are fearful of a range, or they are waiting too long that they miss some of the moves that are within a range. Now, is range trading risky? If you ask me personally, it really depends on several factors. One of them being how much of the weekly range has been delivered. Now, this is a smart money concept that I have recently learned. And when we observe this phenomenon, we can see that price during the entire week. So the first week started off over here. See, now every single week, every single day, we have four things. We have an open, high, low, close. See these numbers up here, OHLC. Every week, every day, every minute, every second, we have in every single candlestick an open, high, low, and a close. So if you can understand that every single day, price is going to do two things, just two things: create a low and create a high. The next step for you is to understand where price is probably going to create that low and create that high. All right. So same thing with the weekly. If you can understand where, or the fact that price on every single week, every single month, whatever, you get the point, every single time frame, price must create two things: a low and a high to complete that candlestick. If you look at this low right here, I'll delete a lot of the markings later on, but if you look at this low, this is when the week started, right? You can see where price actually made the low of the week at, right? A lot of people, oh, where is this? It didn't reach the OB on the H4, didn't reach the OB on the daily. However, when you actually observe, right, this was right here. This was when the week, I believe, started. Am I right? I'm genuinely not sure. I'm just going off of straight away. I didn't plan this. This is just my marking based off of the week. See, oh yeah, another question I just want to ask is a FAQ question, frequently asked question. Avi, do you even use smart money concepts? Because I talk about, SNR, I talk about SND, I talk about Wyckoff, it's all the other stuff. Do you even use pure, like, you know what I mean, like smart money concepts, liquidity, structure, and kill zones and stuff like that? The answer to that question is absolutely, I still do. And especially on Euro USD, I find it to be incredibly useful for me to use smart money concepts as opposed to, for example, support and resistance, for example. Smart money concepts on Euro USD are insanely, I wouldn't want to say easy, insanely simple and very well respected. Let's put it that way. So when we look at this right here, you can see how we have first of all, why did price trade from the top? It's to you need to read some of the intentions, and to read the intentions, you need to understand your liquidity, and you, of course, very importantly, you need to understand your market structure. So when we observe this phenomenon, okay, I'm just going to talk over a little bit for like the first 10 minutes. I'm going to talk over the entire thing, and then we're actually going to get into some of these nitty-gritty areas over here, and then we can cover my stop sizes, and you can see they're pretty small stop losses. Oh, another thing, of course, for the people who are doubting, that's fine if the skeptics out there. I've been a skeptic to several things in my life. The entries for these are actually in my AKFX journal, but I do want to point something out. I did not take this entry, and I did not take this entry. However, I did take 1, 2, and 3. I missed these two in here. In fact, I missed 3 trades. 1, 2, and 3. I missed these 3 trades. I'll be very honest with you. However, were these hindsight trades? Absolutely not. I have proof of before and after, which I believe I'll post. Oh yeah, I have posted on my Instagram, but I'll post it on my Telegram as well, just so you guys know that I'm not trying to bullshit you, right? And the psychology behind you knowing that I'm not trying to bullshit you is so that you know that I'm actually using these things, because the fact is I am. On Euro USD, I am using smart money concepts. I promise you of that. So anyway, coming to this, what exactly happened here is incredibly simple. Now, if we were to just take our eyes off of this real quick, can you see that we have ourselves a strong low? Why do we have a strong low? Well, we have the take of this low, we have the sweep of this low, and we have the break of this high with this candlestick. Can you see this bullish candlestick? We have that. Done. Next is very simple. We need to wait for some liquidity to be engineered, but in that time being, right? You know what? Let me just make a new chart real quick. Make a new chart, and let's go over something very, very simple. You see over here, we have ourselves our stop hunt. I'll cover POIs and stuff like that in a second, but we have ourselves our stop hunt and we have ourselves our break. Okay. If you consider this to be the break, okay, sure, that's fine as well. But for me, I consider this to be the break because it basically looks something like this, does it not? Right? It looks a little bit like this. Am I right? So that's why I will consider this to be a break. Okay? Just like that, of course, with a stop hunt. So when we have that break, all right, what you guys need to understand is we need to engineer the liquidity. However, price needs to pull back. Am I right? Price needs to pull back. When price does this, right, it needs to pull back. You see this? It needs to pull back. And then for price to take this liquidity, it needs to pull back. Am I right? And where they pull back from is, of course, the higher time frame, of course, because higher time frame rules, is the higher time frame sell to buy ranges, order blocks, supply demands, hidden bases, etc. and etc. Right? These areas, you see? These areas right here, and you see, oh, why did price react here? Where's the inducement? Well, that's the inducement right there. Why did price react here? Where's the inducement? Well, that's the inducement right there. What's the directional bias that you're using as a confluence for buying in here? Well, you have your strong low, you have your weak high. So you buy here, your first target's going to be here 100%. What's the reason for you looking for a sell here, and where do you want to liquidate your positions? Well, the reason you look for your sell is because we have ourselves a strong high here, which you look on the lower time frame, the H4, it'll do something like this, right? So, of course, that's going to be your little guide, and of course, very importantly, your liquidity. You see? And your target being here. Why? Because this looks like something like a SNR liquidity, YouTube SNR liquidity. Okay, so with that being said, let's move forward. Let's just move forward. First of all, on the left, what's our POI? Well, I know a lot of people who are watching, a good fair share of people who are watching my videos actually come from ICT, Inner Circle Trader. And they're familiar with his concepts as I am. I'm familiar with a decent portion of his concepts. I wouldn't say I'm fluent in ICT. However, I have taken a lot of knowledge from his YouTube channel, so please go ahead and support him if you guys wish to. But if you look over here, we actually have ourselves, following ICT, of course, I mean, his concept, or his, his terminology, we have ourselves an inefficiency, right? Or I don't know what you call this. I mean, there's so many terms: inefficiency, the market gap, the 50% of an FVG, right? We have ourselves that, which didn't actually get delivered to. That's fine. But if you take a look on the weekly time frame, you can see this right there, right? We have ourselves our liquidity, our FVG, excuse me, market gap, whatever you wish to call it. Again, guys, please don't flame me in the comment section for using the wrong terminology. I don't use that terminology often. I'm not well versed in that terminology at this point in time. I was, but I forgot a lot of it because I just don't use it. I'll be very honest with you. But this is what I'm seeing. So if you were to observe this, you can have yourself a 50% of your inefficiency, 50% of your FVG, etc. Right? A form of a PD array. Right? Then you can see how price delivers to it incredibly efficiently and basically makes this imbalance balanced again. Of course not fully, but it doesn't have to be fully. You can see we have ourselves our liquidity feeding into that area. Now we did actually project that price was going to fly from here. We did actually project that, and that did happen. However, it did not last. It's a move that did not last. Be very honest, you can see how that when that liquidity gets taken, we did actually project this to go higher and fill this area, but unfortunately that did not happen. It is what it is. But coming back to this, however, yes, so that's basically our main POI if you were to follow that route. Now, for me, I don't really like to use FVGs or inefficiencies because I personally find them very vague. So what I see is a imbalanced closed price action, also known as a hidden base, also known as a demand zone. So if you were to observe this is on the daily time frame, you can actually see this right here. And a lot of you guys may be saying, oh, well, Avi, it's actually already been delivered to, it's already been tapped. However, it hasn't. It's still actually inefficient. It's still actually imbalanced. Right there, you can see how this wick doesn't actually fill that little bit of liquidity. It's still liquidity. Go with the facts. You can see how when price comes in there, it basically confirms, and you can see that right here. Okay, so in the next video, I actually want to talk to you guys about how you can catch lower, like really low time frame entries, even though you're in a very massive time frame for your POI. I think that's going to be very, very interesting. Let me just take another sip of my tea. But let's talk about this in a second. Just go over, guys. Think about the strong low, the break of the structure, where price pulls back from, and then think about when it is the right time for you to start looking for continuation buys in the confluence of the strong low. Think about that for a second while I sip this tea. I swear, bro, chai is like there's chai and then there's chai with a dash of cinnamon. It's a different level. It's genuinely a different level. Chai with a dash of cinnamon is it, bro. I'll tell you what, is it. Structure may not be it, liquidity may not be it, but chai with some cinnamon, oh god, undisputable, I'll tell you that much. Okay, come back to this though. We take a look at our daily. We have a strong low. Right, we have what we can speculate to be our weak high. Now when we look at this, what's our plan? What's going on in our head? Right? I'll tell you what's going on in my head. Look at this here. I see we have ourselves our stop hunt. I see we have ourselves our break of structure here. If that's not very clear to you, well, perhaps this would be clear for you. Right? It really depends on how you're viewing structure. For me, I see this as a buy, a little dip, and then a buy again. So I'm viewing this as structure. You may see this as a major. All right, cool. That's fine. We respect each other. But when we look at this, we can see how we have ourselves that bit of liquidity right there feeding into our. So let me run you guys through a step by step of all of this stuff. You can see how we have ourselves our strong high. We have ourselves our weak low. We have that liquidity. All right. And price heads up. It's up. And fills what? We have a couple POIs. Am I right? But by the fact that we have a couple POIs. Let's drop some of these POIs on. So we have that. All right. We have, what is this? First of all, that's a bearish OB, also known as a supply zone. Again, I'm a very simplistic person. We also have this imbalance close price action. Right there. Don't bother about, oh, it failed or whatever. Yeah, you're right. It did fail. I'll be very honest with you. It did fail, for sure. But let's focus on the POIs. We have ourselves this imbalance close price action. Also, I guess you could refine it to the hidden basin itself, which is just the wick, and wick. Imbalance close price action is the entire candle. Okay, so you could refine it to the wick and wick. All right, and you can see how price gets delivered very well right here. So let's talk a little bit about the lower time frame price action, and let's talk about some of our losses. First of all, we need to understand our target, right? Our target's going to be right here. You need to understand that if you ever get worried on the lower time frame and you wish to hedge, for example, I'll give you an example. If you get worried that, hey, this is also a QM, which you're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. This is a stop hunt break of structure, liquidity inducement. Here we have our imbalance close price action. Price comes in here, you can buy. You're absolutely correct with that. However, you need to understand what our major trend is, or our major structure is at this point in time. Okay, so you can see that we are obviously bearish on the higher time frame, and of course here as well. You can just look at the charts and you can tell we are creating lower highs and lower lows. All right, now let's take a look at the lower time frame price action. And we know for a fact we would not be looking for sells in here. So once we have that, let's go to our lower time frame and see what's popping up. So we have ourselves a 4-hour imbalance close price action. We take a look at this on the 5 minute, for example. We can't exactly see all too much. Let's hop down to the 1 minute and see whether, if you were to take a 1 minute trade, maybe you got yourself stopped out, etc. Let's just assume that and see what happened. If we can't go to the 1 minute, okay, let's go to the 3. That's fine. All right, let's hit here. So we can see ourselves on the 3 minute time frame. We can actually see we have ourselves a trade. Is it beautiful? Did I personally take it? No, I did not. However, if you took it, it would not have led to a loss. Depends, really, it really depends, but it would not have led to a loss. So you can see how we have ourselves a liquidity here, imbalance close price action over here, your stop loss above. However, you would have either been stopped out or you would have been hit at break even, because we did actually have ourselves a reaction. We have ourselves a reaction from over here, right? We have ourselves a reaction from above the liquidity. However, I personally didn't take this. I was observing the 5 minute time frame. As I said, can you actually trade a very low time frame, for example, a seconds or a 1 minute on a higher time frame POI? Absolutely, you can. I've done it before, in fact, and a lot of other people besides me are doing it consistently and more profitably than I am. However, let us for a sec. There are certain rules that you need to follow for you to want to take a lower time frame, a very low time frame. For example, a 1 minute trade on a, say, daily POI. There are more things that you need to look into, which we'll cover next time perhaps. But if you look at the 5 minute, it's very simple, very clear. We can see we have ourselves our stop hunt right there, a beautiful stop hunt, and then we have where's our breaker structure? Boom, right here. Just very simple. Look at the last dip and buy. Some may even say this. For me, what was clear for me was this break right here. Very simple, very easy. So now next we have ourselves our inducement. So we have, if we were to look at this, we have a lot of points. We have that up here. We have all of these guys. So I would like to go to a higher time frame. Let's see what happened. By the way, FYI, I did in fact take this trade and I've posted it on my AKFX Telegram. First link and only link in the description. When I'm looking at this, I'm seeing, it's so much easier to see compared to the 5 minute because I'm seeing all these wicks, sure. However, I do also see myself an imbalance close price action that is on the extreme. It's much nicer for me to enter from. And I can take all of this as my liquidity. For example, I'm just giving you an example about how I refine it, man. If you're asking, Avi, why? I really don't have an answer to why. Can you just enter above this? For example, let me give you an example real quick. I'm all about giving examples because I want you guys, when you watch these videos, I don't post very often, guys. I genuinely don't. I'm all about quality over quantity. So when I post, even though it's not very often, I want you guys to be able to watch it and be able to get as much information as possible from it, so that when I even don't post for 2 weeks, you're like, let me go back to that video because I need to revise a little bit. I got it now. Okay, it's fine. Even if it takes another 2 weeks, it's fine. You know what I mean? But yeah, so when we look at this, right, can you just enter above here? Of course you can. There's nothing wrong with that. You could just enter here with a stop loss above. However, we'd have a 10 pip, 11 pip stop, 12 pips including spread perhaps, and you just have a little, this is your first target, 22 pips. You know what I mean? A 1 to 2 RR. It's fine. It's fine. It's definitely all right. It's just, is it efficient? Is it refined? Is it optimized? Ask yourself, is my strategy optimized? And if the answer is, man, I could do better, well then do better. Shit. And drink some chai too. It makes you do better. So when I'm looking at this, I'm like, okay, it's fine. I want to get myself a better stop. So I could look at the 15 minute. The two things I could have done. Look at the 15 minute. Well, two things I did do, in fact. Look at the 15 minute. Oh, imbalance close price action. Sell limit here with a stop loss above. That 4.3 pips, so let's just assume 4.5 pips stop loss. However, what I did was something a little bit more refined, and I went to the 1 minute. Please, God, allow me to go to the 1 minute. I can't go to the 1 minute. Oh, Lord. Oh, no, I can't. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Okay, great. The 3 minutes, perfect. The 3 minutes, perfect. Okay, great. I actually did go to the 1 minute for this, but the 3 minute shows it infinitely amazing as well. That's not the right way of saying it. I apologize. Okay, what I see on the 3 minute is an SNR liquidity. Very, very simple liquidity. Over here too, there's an SNR liquidity. I completely agree with you. However, on a 3 minute as well, remember, you guys have to understand, Avi, why did you enter here? How do you know to enter here? Why not enter here? I'm saying there's nothing wrong with entering when price takes its liquidity. Boom, there's nothing wrong with entering there. However, is it optimized? No, my answer to that question is no, it's not optimized. All right, so what did I do? I wanted to refine, and I realized that this was actually an SNR liquidity. Again, YouTube supported resistance. Let's not demean the true one. We have ourselves a support, breaks, becomes resistance. Am I right? That is our liquidity. You know what I'm trying to say? On a micro level, bro. Micro level. It's insane. It's insane, the precision of this thing. It is insane. And again, this is not my concept, but viewing SNR liquidity, yeah, I've come up with the approach of it, sure, because it's just a different alternate approach to something that is already there, an existing concept founded and pioneered by ICT, which is the form of liquidity and understanding that liquidity resides not just in, you know, FEGs, etc., but also in the old highs and lows, sure, but the approach of viewing and understanding different looks of liquidity, different quirks of liquidity. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say I came up with the SNR liquidity. You know what I mean? It's support and resistance, right? But there's liquidity over there. I didn't come up with it. I sort of just approached. It's just a different understanding, a different way to make my brain work, right? So I don't want you guys to think I came up with any of this stuff. I am not you know what I mean? I didn't come up with any of this stuff. You guys know this. All right? I'm very, very transparent about that stuff. So your entry is obviously going to be, my entry was above this, and of course your stop loss could be right up there, 3.8 or 4 pip stop loss as opposed to a 4.5 pip stop loss, and then your take profit would be down here. Let me just go back to over here just to see where exactly. I believe I took an aggressive entry on this one. I was very aggressive with these trades because I understood the flow, I guess you could say. I'm very, very confident in a range. Let's just put it that way. I am very confident when price is in a range. Yeah, I took an aggressive stop loss of 2.5. I put it on like a QML level, a Quasimodo level on the 1 minute time frame. Just a little bit aggressive, but I also included some spread, which is 0.01 or 0.1 pips or something, because I use an ECN broker for this. And yeah, so my first take profit was over here. However, I didn't actually take the profit. What I did instead, I'll tell you guys what I did instead of taking the profit, because I was right in front of my computer. So what I did instead was to actually, when I took this sell, I just observed structure, and when structure shifted, I just took some profit right there, right? Price went up. Okay, if we observe this, price went up again. This is our target, right? Price went up. Phil, can you see this H4? See this massive H4, right? Price went up and actually sold from there. Now, did I actually take the sell? No, I didn't. I'll be very, very honest with you. I did not actually take the sell. Okay, this sell right here, I didn't take it. It didn't fill to my expectations. A buddy of mine did take the trade. I'm very happy for him. But it didn't exactly fill to my area of interest, and it's fine because I'm in from the top. It's all right if I miss a trade, so I'm just gonna hold it. I did take some partials here, and you just hold the damn thing until the bottom. So for example, in that trade, all right, you would have gotten yourself a pretty handsome RR, and you understand when to actually hold your trade. Yeah, you got yourself like a 1 to 20, I believe, 1 to 21 RR trade. and you understand it's not like you're taking all your profits here and then you're holding it 0.01. No, you're not. You're taking some profits here. For example, maybe you're a day trader and you're taking 50% of your entire volume over here. Okay, so let's say you put on a 5 lot, which I believe over here I did about a 2.3 lot, nothing too massive, but I took a 2.3 lot if I'm not wrong, and that was a 0.50% risk, and you're risking 2.5 pips. That's fantastic. And I just took 50% of my position here, and then I took 50% of my position once price took that liquidity. And it's just as simple as that. That's all there is to it. You know what I'm trying to say? Then once price takes this liquidity into that little daily, or into that little daily FVG or hidden base that we talked about earlier. Remember I told you guys about that? Or if you want to view it as a weekly inefficiency, 50% of the FVG thingy, you want to view it as that. Remember when price went in there, took this liquidity, right? You can see how even on the 15-minute time frame, price has actually done what? It stop hunted, right? And then what? It's broken the high. Whether you want to view this is the high, whether you want to view this is the high, it's actually broken the high that caused that stop hunt, right? So what are we waiting for next? We just wait for liquidity. What liquidity do we have? The SNR liquidity right here, right? Price takes that and it flies. Hold on. Oh Lord, have mercy on me. Give me a sec. All right, there we go. Did I take this trade? I'll be very honest with you. I did not take this trade, my friends. I did not take this trade. I'll be very, very straight up with you guys. A buddy of mine did take this trade. If you guys want to go and show some love and show some support to him, he's a fantastic ICT trader. And I respect him very, very much. His name is Aldwayne Parchment. You can find him on Instagram. He's a fantastic, fantastic trader. No hindsight bullshit trader that trades ICT very, very well. And I have a lot of respect to him, as well as RSD Trading Star. Shout out my bro as well, man. We go way back. Both of these guys are absolute killers when it comes to smart money concepts, and the reason I want to shout them out is because, you know, they're not looking for a fee, they're not looking to scam you or anything. They just post their charts and they post a lot of educational content on their feed, etc., which I myself have taken a lot of inspiration from. So I just want to extend my thanks to them. But with that being said, let's move on. Don't worry, I'm not being held at gunpoint. These guys, okay? So yeah, when we look at this, where are other areas to sell at? We of course have this area right here, this imbalance close, and then we have this OB at the very top. Okay, so when we look at the daily, we understand that was actually where price did the pullback from. Remember what we talked about, where price can pull back from. I'm about 22 minutes in. Okay, price can pull back from either here or here. We just need to look for what exactly looks solid to us personally, what exactly looks like it's worth it to take. Now, look at this trade, which actually came from, let's go back. I apologize that I'm shifting too many charts. It's just that I'm trying to keep one chart clean as a reference point and another chart for actually, you know what I mean, marking up for you guys. We have this and this, am I right? We look at here, we can go to the 5 minute, 3 minute, for example. Let's go 5 minute first, right? You can see how we have absolutely no trade. There's absolutely no trade for us to make at this very point in time. However, if you were to have taken a sell here, 100% you would have been stopped out. 100%. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, you know, because there's equal highs. No, if you were to have viewed this as the high that took this liquidity and broke this significant structure, and this being the perfect inducement of this point of interest, which is an imbalance close price action. Yes, 100%. I'm not here to deny to you or give you any unrealistic expectations. 100%. You would have taken this loss. 100%. No question about it. All right. And we owned it. We owned that loss. That's fine. We have another thing to pay attention to. All right. Let's pay attention to this. This POI, as well as the fact that we have our daily giving us a strong low. Understand that. Okay, understand that. So what are our points of interest at this point? What is even going on in my brain at this point? Well, let me tell you. We can attempt a buy from below this low. Why below this low? Because when we broke on that daily, we created that liquidity. Right here, we created that liquidity. We did this, we did this, we did this. I'll tell you what we did. Boom. Went up. We created this. Right here is right here. And when price takes this, we can for sure look for a buy. Okay. Did I do that? No, I didn't. In fact, I didn't take any of these trades. I didn't take this one. I didn't take this one. Right. I just took the very top. I took all that stuff. Yeah. Just playing during the range because I was late during this and I was focusing on XAU. As you guys know, I don't wake up and choose to analyze Euro USD. I only analyze or trade Euro USD when XAU is being boring, it's going sideways, or I'm already in a trade on XAU. So that's you guys need to understand that as well. But yeah, so when we look at this, we have this one area here as our first area to be interested in, and our second area to be interested in will be this very, very nice, what's this, OB whatever demand. Okay, if you look at the H4, I don't think there's anything very interesting. Yeah, if you look at the H4, it's just an imbalance close. It's just an imbalance close. That's it. If you want to call it a, yeah, it's a hidden base. There's no two candles, but it's still a valid hidden base. It's the point is it is a POI on the H1. All right, and the reason that this POI is valid is because of this liquidity. It is so beautiful. This is just such a beautiful phenomenon, because you look at this one here. Let's say you were to enter in here. Let's go to the lower time frame and just inspect what exactly happened in there. Maybe we took a loss. Hey, who knows, right? Okay, we can't inspect for some reason. All right, cool. So as you can see, we took that liquidity. Okay, look at this. Let me go to the H1, and what I'm showing you right now is this liquidity. Focus on this low. Remember how I told you when price takes this low, that's one area that you could potentially enter from. Am I right? So let's go and see what exactly happened on the lower time frame, of course. Let's just go and see what happened. You can see we took the liquidity. We broke the structure. All of this happening once that previous low was taken. Okay, took the liquidity. Here's actually where we broke the 3-minute structure. Last high that caused the stop hunt. Okay, broke the structure. Liquidity inducement, and then price comes back. Beautiful, beautiful trade here, or the order block, depending on which one you wish to take. Right? Excuse me. That would have been your thing. Now, where would your take profit be? Well, you could have your first take profit be over here, for example. Right? Your second take profit could be, well, it really depends on how you're viewing this, but in my viewing, in hindsight, you could take it at this SNR liquidity. Can you guys see this? Let me maybe make this a different color. Can you guys see this SNR liquidity? You could take that. See how price goes? Boom, nicks that, and then she reverses. And look, when she reverses, she takes that liquidity, breaks the structure, installs another SNR, takes that liquidity, and then she goes forward. And then, yeah, that's that. I mean, you know what I mean? It just continues. If you observe, we take this liquidity, we break this structure, we induce, and fail to create a lower low, and boom, she rockets up, takes this guy into here, and then boom, she goes back down again. Right? And here, yeah, you can see we failed to make a lower low, but price didn't actually come back up. You guys need to understand your higher time frame as well. And then price just goes down, takes that liquidity into our higher time frame point of interest. So I hope you guys understand how you could have caught this one. I didn't, as I'm being very honest about, I didn't, but I hope you guys can understand how and why you would catch this one. Because of the daily, my friends. Because of that daily. And where would you actually want to hold it to? Well, you want to hold it right here. However, unfortunately, it happens in the market. We did not actually reach that, which is exactly why, quoting ICT himself, pay the trader at logical points, of course. Pay the trader. Like this, that would be an area for you to pay yourself. All right. Not peg yourself, pay. All right. Don't freaking kinky, guys. I swear to God. Okay, look at this. Here, we have ourselves our next area of interest. Why is this an area of interest again? Right? Bullish QM. Our major, easiest one would obviously be this daily. However, price didn't fill it, right? Price didn't fill it. It just so happens to be that price didn't fill it. We have, what other POIs? We have this H4 within the daily. Very strong POI when we have the H4, the daily, the weekly, all together. It becomes very strong, all right? But unfortunately, as you can see, price just didn't react to it. So if you go to the H1, we can see we have that inducement. Why is this an inducement? Because this low failed to create a higher high. Boom, price goes and takes it. Now let's go to the lower time frame and see what we can find. Maybe we took a loss, who knows, right? Either way, let's see what happened. Observe this. When price enters, again, a lot of people want to go straight to here. No, when you're back testing especially, you want to be very transparent about it. When price, there we go, it just reaches here. Can we see any kind of break of structure? Like, I mean, yeah, we have this internal breaks of structure, but that's just, you know what I mean, filling liquidity to go and sell. Did we break the last high that caused the stop hunt of this low? See, we stop hunt, right? This high, or even if you want to view it like this, did we break that in any point in time? No, we didn't. We never broke it. We never ever broke it. Okay, so but when price comes in here, you can see how take the liquidity and we break the structure right there. Okay, so why did price react here? Because as you can see, we have our sell to our buy, we have our liquidity. Liquidity gets taken into our sell to our buy, and price reacts to it. Now let's take a look at the higher time frame, because oh man, Avi, I'm confused. Do we enter here? Do we enter here. Where do we enter? Very simple. Hit your higher time frame, man. Hit your higher time frame and relax for a minute, right? Can you see on the lower time frame we have our confirmation of this? Guys, understand, right? The reason we're looking for our confirmation is maybe because I'm not sure if I want to enter in this H1 POI because I don't know. Do I want to enter in this H1 POI when we have a H4 below, or because we have a daily below? We don't know, right? That's why we look for a confirmation. Simple as that, man. Very, very simple. So when I'm looking at this, okay, we have our confirmation, my friends. We do. We really, really do. We have ourselves our M1, M5 break of structure, stop hunt, break of structure. And then we have our SNR liquidity. Resistance gets broken, becomes support, stop losses are below. We take that guy, and then we fly. Right? You see how that operates. My friends. We have an extreme. Why did price play from the top? There is nothing that we can do to say, 100% in this world, price is going to 100% come down here. There is nothing. I promise you. If there is, there are going to be so many more millionaires in this world because they know they can just go 100 lots on the top. You know what I mean? So let's be very realistic with ourselves here. So we look at this. We have ourselves a 15-minute imbalance close price action. What else do we have? Do we have anything on the 30? We have ourselves a third. Now, take a look at this multi-time frame. 30-minute. Nothing on the 45. All right, that's fine. But we have 30-minute imbalance close price action. Area to enter from. We have ourselves a 15-minute imbalance close price action. Another area to enter from. All in the same area. Mind you, all in the same area. We have ourselves a, again, M5 imbalance close price action. A little bit higher, but roughly in the same area. And you see how when we have a lot of them bunched up in the same area, they become very strong to propel price. You see? And your stop, of course, right here. What would you know what community do? The you know what community? Oh, bro, I achieved 1 to 100, brother. 1 to 100 every day, brother. But let's be very honest. That is what they would have done. So that would have been your entry right there, and your stop right there. And it's funny how we've refined it, and we still have ourselves a 5 pip stop loss. But hey, beggars can't be choosers. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah. That's the realisticness of it, the realism, right? And we still would have gotten ourselves a freaking 1-to-9 ratio, bro. And you're complaining about a 5 pip stop. Come on. Let's be honest now. You're begging here out of it. Don't be too choosy now. We have ourselves that. Beautiful. Why would we want to enter in here? Why? No, think about it. Why would we want to enter here? When we have H4 and daily strong low, right? So you need to understand that when we look at the daily as well, right? We have ourselves, look, stop hunt, break of structure, liquidity. It makes sense for price to come and take this liquidity according to this daily. Am I right? Hold on. Let's revert just a little bit. Take the liquidity, break the structure. Isn't this an inducement for this hidden base? Yes? No? Maybe? Right? So think about that for a second as well. And then, this being the daily as well, propelling price. Yeah, it's a brilliant trade setup. So now let's get into these wonderful, beautiful trades. I love these so much. I love these trades. I'm very happy about these trades panning out so well. Let's talk about these for a second. Tea's getting a little bit cold. And we have 40 minutes in, 30 minutes in. Okay, it's fine. It's all right. You can see that's where the weekly low was, mind you, low of the week as they call it. And yeah, let's take a look at what even made us contemplate this area. Okay, remember what we talked about on a higher time frame, right? Every couple of hours or couple of trades, just take a look at the higher time frame. No, not even every couple of hours, a couple of trades. Let's make it very objective. I'll tell you guys this: I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not FDA approved. I forgot FSC or something, bro. It's like I'm a vax or something. I'm not FDA approved. Man. Okay, anyway, my bad. I'm not a financial advisor. Point being, I'm not a financial advisor. But tell you guys what. Every couple of breaks a structure, go back to your higher time frame. Get yourself in that balance back again. You know what I mean? That neutral standpoint back again. Understand what the higher time frame is telling you. And what price could deliver into. Am I right? So this would have been my draw on liquidity. Wait, hold on, let me show you. This would have been my attraction, basically, that little liquidity magnet in that, right? Before we get into the next point, I just want to point out to you guys how the entire thing we've talked about has basically gone over this. Boom. Right? You see that? It's just basically that. And this is as simple as that. Right? But because you guys are focused on so much on the lower time frame, I'm not saying you guys as in all of you guys, but a couple of you guys, I've seen even in some of like Slay's chat and stuff like that. Oh god, a lot of you guys are going so much into the lower time frame. You're getting lost in the sauce. The sauce is the lower time frame because you're getting yourself brilliant RR and all of that stuff based off of your higher time frame. So you're also getting yourself brilliant win rate. But stop going to the lower time frame immediately. Understand your higher time frame. That's where you get your direction from, not the lower time frame. You don't get your direction from the lower time frame unless you're talking about a short-term direction. Sure. But anyway, let's talk about that first. Again, we have ourselves that feeding liquidity into the point of interest. See, some of you guys may be wondering, well, Avi, how do I know if price is going to enter the FVG or inefficiency and not the hidden base? You don't know that. Maybe a couple mentorship students may know that. I don't know that. So I'm here to share with you what I know. Am I right? So if you guys know it, if you want to be smartasses and out it out in the comment section, please do. But I don't know it, right? For me, I'm very objective. I don't trade these 50% FVG things. No, it's just a no to me. That sometimes leads to me missing a couple trades. So be it. I'm fine with that. I'd rather miss a couple trades than be okay with, open the borders to every single option of points of interest. You know what I mean? I'd rather water all those points of interest down to hidden bases, supply and demand zones, Quasimodo levels for the refinements, and I'm done. That's it. You know what I mean? So yeah, by the way, next week, watch out for the previous weekly high. These low resistance liquidity, watch out for it to be taken. We can look for some more sells in here if that makes sense. If it gets taken to below, I would love for this daily bullish order block to be met. This being the draw on liquidity. Take this guy into the bullish order block. I'll for sure look for buys. But anyway, maybe I'm wrong. Who knows, right? But okay, yeah. Okay, so over here we have ourselves our point of interest. Our hidden base plus the breaker thing. Okay, again, some of you, oh, Avi, it's a mitigation block, it's not a breaker, it's a this, it's not a that. Bro, I couldn't give a damn, bro. It's a freaking hidden base with structure break. That's all I care about, literally, bro. Don't focus on the details too much, because unless you can make trades like me, then correct me. Okay, that's all I'm saying, because I'm here to teach you guys. I'm here because people want to learn. Let's be very polite with each other. All right, that's cool. So price hits into this daily, am I right? In this daily, we also have ourselves a little bit of a refinement. That being this H4, H4 suppy, H4 supply. Okay. Now, of course, that can be met or it can't be met. I believe price is going to actually take these highs, previous weekly high, into the H4 supply and then drop. I believe that's what's going to happen. But I don't know for sure. I can't read EU as well as I can read XAU. I've learned that for sure. Self-aware about that because I focus more on XAU. Anyway, coming back to this, how could you have dealt with this? Well, just simple. Wait for a bearish QM inside this. Just it's simple. Very, very simple. That's a daily time frame, mind you. So when we're looking at the QM, I would have looked at the M15 right there. Take the liquidity, break the structure. Gonna have to move a little bit quicker now. You guys should be fluent with what I'm doing. And yes, there we are. Simple as that. So where do we enter, etc. and etc.? Well, I could not see a single point of interest on a higher time. Not one, bro. I have my liquidity. Look what we have. We have our entire setup. We have our liquidity. We have our strong high, bearish QM thing, right? I have everything in there. But I don't know where to enter based off of the daily. H4, H1, I don't know where. Okay, what I did was I went to a lower time frame. Be flexible with the market. I went to a lower time frame and what I saw was this. What I saw was an M5 order block. I also saw this, and you can see how price, what is this? This is a imbalanced close price action right there. Price did react, right? I didn't trade it, but price did react. It was coming close to market close. Price went inside my point of view. There's no look all of this, there's nothing in here. At least I don't see anything in here. Maybe on the M1, sure thing, chicken wing, but I don't see anything. So I just simply waited for the top POI. Price went in there. What else did I do? Well, I simply waited for an M1 boss. I mean, come on, bro. It's an M5 point of interest. The freaking range of my point of interest is some people's stop loss, bro. In fact, my stop loss here is bigger than the freaking range of my POI. So go to the M1. That makes sense, bro. It makes complete sense. Now, there's also some fractal Wyckoff in here that I was aware of. I didn't use it, but I was aware of it happening. But anyway, coming back to this, as you can see, there's just no bearish QM, nothing whatsoever. This is just a double top. Boom, liquidity gets taken. All right. Significant structure, the low that caused the high, gets taken as well. And we're left with this liquidity. Why this liquidity? I mean, it's pretty simple. SNR liquidity. Okay? We take that. You can see how my entry is literally right there. It's actually an M3 and M5 multi-time frame. So you look at that, multi-time frame right there. M3, M5. Togetherness. Together, we achieve a lot of things. And together, they've achieved Chai, the 8th wonder of the world. So, togetherness, my friends. 5 and 3. 2 time frames where the POI is in the same spot makes for a nice trade. Now, if you want to be real aggressive, you can put it at the Quasimodo level right here. You can even put it above the imbalance close. However, we are not that community. We want to be safe and have a higher win rate. And thus, we have a 2.3 pip stop, maybe 2.3, 2.4, 2.5 pip stop, including spread, if you're on an ECN broker such as myself. I believe I had a 2.5 stop, to be very honest with you guys. So you know what? Let's go and change this. All right, that was my stop. I still got myself a 1 to 11. My take profit there. Why? Why is my take profit here? Why? What is the reason I took my profits here? Why not below whatever? Because I'm trying to be safe, bro. First thing first. I'm trying to be safe. Number two. Let's go Owanda. All right, cool. Number 2. Remember, what we're basing this entire trade's based off of, right? The daily, okay, the daily, and the M15. Okay, strong high, weak low. Sell from here, major target here. Simple as that. Okay. Now, what was my target? Okay, my target was very, very simple. Okay, so we're seeing this. Sorry, my throat's getting real like sore from talking so much. But okay, this is our POI right here. Bro, who keeps messaging me, man? Gosh. Okay, price comes in here, right? And we entered over here. Price is in here. Can you guys see we have ourselves internal structure creating an obstacle? Am I right or am I right? Do we have a bullish obstacle, my friends? I want you guys to answer that question real quick. Your answer should be yes. All right? Took the liquidity into a sell buy, which is a OB on a different time frame. And we created a stop hunt, break of structure, inducement. All right? See this inducement? Right. So this is an obstacle. Simple as that. This is an obstacle. Okay? So if we go back to our actual charts that I used to analyze, you can see how when I sold, my first take profit was here. Why? Because I know. What do I know? Okay, what do I know? What do I know? Take the liquidity, break the structure, create the inducement. This is going to be our area to buy from. If we wish to buy from it, obviously. If we wish to buy, this is going to be our area to buy from. Simple as. Okay? And I know this my liquidity also because of the support and resistance. Right? So I know if I'm going to buy, where am I going to buy it? I'm going to buy below this. If I wish to buy, I'm going to buy below this liquidity. Okay, so we take this first take profit, no problem. 11.6. Maybe you take 50%. If this was, for example, Friday, maybe I take 70%. Who knows? It depends on what I'm feeling. It depends on what day it is. It depends on what I'm seeing on price action wise, right? And then what happens is very simple. A lot of people want to know how I entered this trade, and I actually did. How did I enter this trade? Based off of this hidden base when I didn't even have a freaking structure confluence. Let me tell you guys. Let me tell you guys on a brand new chart, in fact. Tell you guys exactly how I've done. It's nothing special at all. A lot of people like to hype smart money up. Smart money is nothing special. Truly, it is nothing special. I guarantee. I put it to you. Don't, you know what I mean, believe in the hype of it. It's nothing. It's just simple stuff that's powerful. It's simple and it's powerful. That's all. All right. Price hits in here. So why did I buy this? Why did I buy this? Very, very simple. I know I have 2 POIs that I can view on the 15-minute time frame. I also have the 15 and the 30. 15. Hold on a minute now. Breaker thingy, right? It's a bearish order block that has a bearish order block that has failed. There we go. I think it is actually by definition a mitigation block. I'm not sure, because a breaker, if I'm not wrong, guys, all you ICT guys, please correct me. No, actually, I'm asking for you guys to correct me in the comment section. Is this a breaker? I genuinely forgot. I think it's something like that, and then this becomes a breaker, because why this would be a breaker is because this caused a higher high here, right? It caused a higher high, and then it still broke though. So I think this is the definition of a breaker. But then with a mitigation block, right? With a mitigation block, okay, it's like this. I believe this is a mitigation block. Am I right? Because why is this mitigation block? Because this high failed to create a higher one. Okay, I need you guys to correct me on this, because in the future I don't want to say the wrong thing. All right, I'm a changed man now. I don't want to say the wrong thing, because I don't want to not please people. You know what I mean? If people want it to be called the right thing, I'm gonna try and learn it. Okay, so please do help me with that. I believe this is not a breaker, but this is what I want you guys who are learning from my videos. I want you guys to understand this. It does not freaking matter, as long as you have a hidden base with a failed order block. Look, let's say there's a hidden base here with a breaker, or hidden base here with a breaker structure. I'm just gonna call that a breaker. You know what I'm trying to say? Focus on the quality of the trade. Focus on the not the way it's said, but focus on how it works. There we go. Don't focus on what is said. Focus on what works. It works when we have structure. Boom. Right? It works when we have structure and a hidden base. Okay, so it doesn't matter whether, don't get confused. Does it matter if it's a breaker? Does it matter if it's a mitigation block? For me, when it comes to this, means nothing. It is meaningless to me. I want you guys to understand that, please. Okay, don't get confused. All right, let's go back to this. We have ourselves a hidden base, and we have our breaker. I'm gonna call it that for now, but once I learn the proper thing, we'll call it something different. Okay, so we have ourselves price heading in. Why did I look for a buy immediately? Well, I went to the 15 minute. And I then went to the 30 minute, and I see we have ourselves an imbalance close, 15 minute hidden base, 5 minute imbalance close, all in one area. Okay, now I also do know we have this liquidity. We have this liquidity down in here. Remember the liquidity that we targeted for our shorts? Am I right, guys? We have the liquidity that we targeted for our shorts. We have that liquidity right here. Okay, now in here is where the refinements happened. All right. You can see that here. 5 minute imbalance close, stop loss below here. What's our target? SNR liquidity. Bro, hold on for a minute, bro. Hold on for a minute. Do you see how it works like clockwork, bro? It's so consistent. It's so consistent. Honestly, liquidity and structural concepts are so consistent. It's insane, right? Why would you want to sell here? We have equal highs, and then I wanted to be even more fluent with it. So what did I do? I understood support and resistance. YouTube, support and resistance. Support breaks becomes resistance. Oh, and bearish engulfing confirmation. Nah, bruh, get wiped, and then we flow. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I took the buy in here, because of this liquidity, okay, and this area of interest. And yeah, so why did price react for a sell over here? It's very simple, my friends. I'll tell you exactly why. Price reacted from there, because we have ourselves price playing within the range, bro. Can you see this right here? You see this, right? H1 bearish QM. So a lot of you guys may be thinking, oh, well, Avi, shouldn't we enter from the top here? And you're not wrong. You're absolutely not wrong. However, if we look at the lower time frame, we can see on the 15-minute time frame is a 15-minute bearish QM. I can take it as a 15-minute setup. Liquidity gets taken. It's a 15-minute bearish QM here. If you go to the 5-minute, you'll see it much clearer. Boom. Okay? So I know this is another area that I can look for. And right there, we have ourselves another point of interest. And again, guys, it's just the same thing over and over and over again. It just keeps repeating, and it's never going to stop repeating. That's the funny part. It's just never going to stop repeating. Okay, Now when you look at this, you would have gone to the 3 minute, refined it, for example, right? Maybe even 1 minute, etc. It depends on how much, if you're fine with the stop loss, then you're fine with the stop loss, right? But you can see why I've said this right here. I'll place this right here. Sell. Top right here. Boom. And then you see the top here as well, all right? Bearish QM, okay? Bearish QM, 3 minute. Look at that sell right here. Beautiful, is it not? Beautiful, isn't it? It's just fantastic. I have no idea where my RR thing went. It's just gone. But you get my point. You get my point. It's just fantastic. The way this works is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And consistent. Just like that. I definitely added 0.2. Okay. And so that's that. So I would be aiming for this, but of course, since it was Friday, I took a bunch of my profits. All right, but yeah, I actually did enter this trade, and it was great. It served me well. It served me well. So another thing is, so yeah, we've talked about everything basically. We've talked about the sell. We've talked about how I took this mysterious buy. Talked about this sell, why that made sense. We'll talk about this in a second, and we've talked about this sell as well. However, this little buy, let's just cover it real quick. Cover it real quick. So this, right? We basically took, bro, my energy levels are actually low. I'm not gonna lie to you guys right now. I'm tired, bro. I'm tired. This month is very hectic for me. Anyway, price hits in here, and we've given ourselves a confirmation. So this entry would be a risk entry. Why? Because we never had our breaker structure as a reason for us to enter. It would be a little bit of a riskier entry. Because why? Price can enter from here, price can enter from here, price can enter from here. Okay, hint hint. Anyway, price comes in there, and then we have ourselves what? Low that failed to create a higher high. Liquidity. Sorry, right here. Liquidity. And then price hits into this 5 minute and goes up, right? Fails, comes back down. Where does it come back down to? I'll tell you where it comes back down to. Comes back down to this right here, where you could have had an aggressive stop or a lower stop, and that's how price flew. Once price took this liquidity, then of course it makes complete sense for you to take your profits and go. Reason being, we are coming from a bearish area, and an ideal area for us to look for longs would be at this OB, or at the very least, you know what I mean, here are also areas that you can look for longs from. And yeah, that's that. When it comes to this buy, how do we take it? If you look at this over here, how do we take this buy? All right, okay, how did that happen? Why did that happen? Simple. We have that take of liquidity, we have that break of structure, we have that liquidity. Then when we hit to the 5 minute, we can see a little bit more detail right here. Simple as that. And yeah, I think we had a bit of a bigger stop here, if you wish to. But I want to share something about stop losses with you guys, how you can maximize your RR. I'll share something I would say pretty valuable about stop losses that I think you guys are going to appreciate very much. All right, we'll share that next time. And yeah, that would have been your buy. Why would you have taken your profits over here? You look at it, it's very simple. So you bought down here, right? You bought down here. Why would you take your profits at the top? Simple. What did I want to talk about again? Oh yeah, of course. Bottom resistance, as well as the fact that this high failed to create a lower low. Okay, you can see how for those people who traded the lower time frame bearish QM here, take the liquidity, break the structure, very messy price action. You actually got yourself a reaction. However, it didn't really last. The reason why price took this area over here is because we have our manipulation, we have our break of structure, we have our failure to create a higher high. Liquidity, price comes in here, boom, flies up, take your profit right there. You guys getting fluent with it now, right? Price heads up, 15 minute bearish QM, multi time frame, my bad. Yeah, M15, imbalance close, nothing on the M5, that's fine, we have something above. Can either refine it, or if we refine it, that's what it would be. Okay, or M3. Nothing on the M3 over here, but we do have M5 and we have M3 in the same spot. M1, and we also have M1 in the same spot. That's the reason why we would choose the top and not exactly the bottom for a refined, beautiful refined entry. Your first take profit can of course be here. Your major take profit can be right down here. Why here? Because this is the weak low to this H1 strong high, where it all started. Okay, I hope you guys appreciate this. If you guys are asking for my personal opinion, not my expert opinion, hey now hold on a minute now, not my expert opinion but rather my personal opinion, I would not suggest taking shots from in here. I would not suggest taking shots from in here. I would personally prefer for these highs to get taken, and then I'll contemplate some sells. And with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this very much. This has been your boy AKFX, and I hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown, and I'll look forward to seeing you guys in the future. Leave a like if you want to. If you guys didn't really like this breakdown, leave a dislike so I know. Tell me in the comment sections what you didn't really like about this breakdown, again, so I know and can improve on it in the future. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. I would really appreciate it if you guys can follow and subscribe my Telegram channel in the description if you guys wish to. And with that being said, you guys have a wonderful one, man. Peace out. I'm gonna take a nap.